Hi, 3, 4, 5s, and kinder leaders. It's Megan this week. We've got a fun set of a lot of movement activities for our Mother's Day Sunday. And so opening activity this week is how long can you? I know my kids still even will be like, how long can I go? Mom, pull up the timer on your phone. And so they're just going to see how long they can do certain movements. Like, hey, how long can you stand on one foot? How long can you jump in place? How long can you put your hand on top of your head? Have fun with that. Pull out the phone, timers, and work on those number skills too while you're at it. So enjoy that time. All right, the next activity is called calendar time, and you'll invite them to circle time. I have the May 2026 calendar in here, and you'll just talk about what a calendar is and how we've got different months, and we're in the month of May. And you'll kind of just talk about like that there's 12 months, and we'll talk about May, and we'll talk about Sunday, and today is Sunday the 10th, and it's the Sabbath day, and talk about what Sabbath is, and then what we're gonna do. What are we gonna do on Monday? What are you gonna do when you go to school tomorrow? Or do you go to school, or do you have special things you do on Mondays? And then we're going to talk about at the end of the calendar kind of discussion, we're going to talk about in our true story from the Bible, people didn't believe that you should work on the Sabbath. But Jesus knew what the right time was to help someone. And then that'll kind of segue into our next. Then we'll move into our worship and our Bible story. I've got all of the TVs queued up with the memory verse and the motions. I double checked this week. And as well as the Bible story pictures and the video. But if you don't want to use that, I've got the memory verse motions poster posted below your televisions. 5-year-olds and kinder, I have them in your baskets. And then I also have the paper versions with your lesson plans each week for the Bible story pictures. And it's about Jesus healing the woman. And so have a great time with the story. And a great review for our Bible verse after the story time is a great activity where you will be having them make silly voices while they practice their memory verse. And 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, they've got great imaginations. And so have a really good time with that one. And then we move on to another movement and song activity, and it's called Days of the Week. And so you'll kind of recap the story about how Jesus, healed the woman on a Sabbath because he knew what was best. And we know that Jesus can help us any day of the week. And so move on to a Days of the Week song. And so it's to Oh My Darling, or Oh My Clementine. And so Sunday, Monday, and then there's hand movements, and you'll pat your knees to the beat. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Jesus cares for me on every day of the week. And so there's in the lesson plan, it's got the cue up, so you'll pat your knees. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then when you get to the other part about where Jesus cares, you're going to hug yourself and finish the song that way. So that is that. And then another movement activity that we have it's called Bend and Move. And they're going to kind of bear crawl and pretend to be the woman who was hunched over and bent over for 18 years. And then Jesus came and healed her. And you'll tie that into the bottom line of that Jesus cares for everyone. So do that a couple different times. They can try moving in different ways. But to remember to bring that back to our Bible story. And then we move into our prayer journal time, and you'll end your circle time. And then since it's Mother's Day, we wanted to do a fun, sweet activity to gift our mamas on top of everything else that we've got planned as a church for them. And so I've got some blank flower pages. And then what you'll do is you will paint their sweet little hands. What I like to do, it's really easy, is you just kind of do a little blob of paint in their palm and then paint their palm I'll cover it all with paint, and then they can do that, and then you don't have a whole lot of extra cleanup. And then they can go to the sink and wash their hands. And then I've got some fun stickers on different sticker sheets that you can peel off, and they can put their Bible verse, and it's the monthly verse of how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ. And then make sure you put their name on it and hand those off to Mama to bless them for Mother's Day. I am so excited to serve alongside you this week, and God bless you guys.